motivation why to use version control. So what is version control is something you might ask. Well, if you are doing something like software engineering, version control or revision control, source code management is a system responsible for managing changes to the computer programs, documents, large websites, or other collections of information. That is the definition on Wikipedia. So a version control system, it's often shortened to VCS. It's a system responsible for managing changes. So why would you use version control? Well, if you were in an ideal world, you were developing something and it developed linearly. So each new version will be an improvement on the previous version. There would be no reason to go back. Everything is just fine. You know what everyone else is doing, and you just slowly work on it until you're finished. So you improve here, you improve here, you improve here. Of course, this is not real life. In real world, things develop non-linearly. If you do a new version of your code or your manuscript or anything, it can be anything between a complete catastrophe and a major breakthrough. And you probably don't know what your colleagues are doing. And often what you're doing is simply fixing mistakes you did earlier. So you might have improvements on Monday, then Tuesday you made mistakes, and Wednesday you spent doing corrections. So you have to go back to an earlier version because that might simply be easier than fixing a lot of mistakes. So you would, instead of doing changes to Tuesday's mistakes, you would just go back to what you did Monday and do improvements on Wednesday. So how do you find your earlier version? Well, if you're in a document, maybe you can use Control Z to go back, but that is very limited. Maybe you will name it myfile.txt, myfiletext.old. Maybe you make it so that you have different versions per day. Maybe you do home directory backups. Many options, and they are not safe, all of them. You can still overwrite files. You can have deleted file. Maybe there were errors caused by you or caused by the hardware. And what should you save? Should you save everything? What if you have a huge project? Will you then need to save copies of everything in this huge project? So how much space will be required? And how do you organize it in different versions? And what's the difference between them? So anything like this, it's difficult to manage, and the larger the project, it gets more difficult. So what about the granularity? You might have several components you're working on. You might have an improvement in one, a mistake in another, and an improvement in a third one. And next day, again, improved one, corrected your mistakes, did a new mistake, and so on. Because there can always be mistakes, improvements, corrections. I mean, the code is not, you might be working on different parts of it. So there's lots of problems. And how can we solve this? Well, version control systems are meant to solve this by storing history using snapshots, which for Git are called commits. And each snapshot represents a project as it was at that given point in time. To manage snapshots and associated metadata, you have tags, you can name them, you have comments, you have dates, authors, etc. And it should be reasonably easy to move between different snapshots. There we come back to good commit messages that you can see with git log, so that you know which one it is you want to go back to when you make changes. And this can handle different degrees of granularity, depending also on how often you make commits. And you can handle multiple development paths in branches that you can later merge if you decide to. It's also easy to compare and join snapshots because you have name revisions, you have comments, time information, author information, you have diff tools and search tools and bisection search to do. And it allows you to join or merge different snapshots so you can experiment with ideas. One of the most important functions of version control system is that it helps with collaboration. And the normal setup is that you have a server that is remote and multiple clients. And people then work locally and send or in Git push the changes to the server. And version control system will then keep track of what has been done and by whom. And this is safer since you can fairly easily remedy your mistakes. And you can later merge the contribution from several people. It also works as a backup. The system maintains a copy locally of each file, and it's usually only the changes or the files that have changed that are stored, so it doesn't take up nearly as much space as it would otherwise. And if you lose files, they can be recovered from the server. Version control systems such as Git are integrated with several services. There are Overleaf that you might have heard of. There's HackMD, there's many others. And then there are online web repos such as GitHub that can do most of the things for you. Not everything. Some things you still have to do on the command line. But it will store history, distribute testing can also be done there. And you can continue to do integration, bug reports, milestones, websites, such as this website we have set up here. So if you sum it up, then it keeps track of your files and other output. It tracks what's created and modified, who made the modifications, why the modifications were made, if you make good commit comments. So what's the practical use cases for version control systems? It's not just for source code, but that is a very common thing that is used by. Many of them are designed for managing source code and for managing deployment, production, development, testing can be done with it, and to manage published versions, so you can set versions. You can also do that in GitHub. And you can manage experimental features and bug hunting. But it's not just for source code, it's also for writers, artists, and composers. You could, for instance, be tracking LaTeX files. You could track versions of your manuscript, one for submitted, revised, accepted, etc. And you can use it when you collaborate between several authors. It's actually very useful for this. In high performance computing, you could maybe use it for batch files and data to track different versions of your batch script. And then you can easily check how the configuration was at that point. You can track input and output files, but this is limited to smallish files. While you can add larger files, it does slow it down if you do that because, well, it might be, it simply takes more time, more bandwidth to send the files then to the repository. So let's briefly look at examples of version control systems. The very first one was called SCCS, and it was created back in 1972 at Bell Labs. It only worked for Unix, and it worked for source code files only. Then came RCS, Revision Control System, in 1985. It's apparently still used very few places, but it's mostly CVS that's used there, which is a wrapper on top of it. and that came in 1986. It's the centralized version control system, and it expands RCS by giving support for repository level change tracking and client server models. Then came Apache's Subversion SVN in 2004, and that was made by the CVS developers in order to replace CVS. All of these are still used, but not a lot, because many newer systems are working better. Then come BitKeeper in 2000, which added distributed version control, and that was briefly used for developing the Linux kernel. However, it's proprietary and it's no longer maintained. Linus Torvalds started Git in April 2005, and he did it originally to develop the Linux kernel. It has distributed version control and it's open source. So Git was made for developing the Linux kernel, but it's also usable for many other things.